Ghana's president is pushing for the Caribbean to be included in Africa's free trade area. He also says that Ghana will fast-track approval for direct flights between Accra and Montego Bay. Now, guys, it's not a done deal yet. It's what he's proposing to champion if Ghana takes over the African Union chairmanship next year. But if it happens, this could actually make it easier for businesses in Africa and the Caribbean to trade with one another, invest with one another, and move people and goods across the Atlantic without having to stop in one of the Western countries. We spend so much time talking about shared history and culture. This is about building shared economic systems, better transport, bigger markets, more investment, and more business opportunities. It will take agreements from many countries before anything changes, but conversations like this give birth to big ideas that gather momentum. If you'd like to see this happen, then share this, repost this, like, comment, and if you love my content, you know what to do. Either gift me below or become a paid subscriber. Love yous.
The European Union has expressed concern about rich Africans who are moving to the Caribbean. That's a real thing. The European Union have expressed concern that rich Africans are actually moving to the Caribbean because I suppose you don't want people of the Caribbean and people of Africa trading together. And why would you want such a union? Black people reconnecting with other black people, going to a black country predominantly run by black people. That should raise a huge concern to the European Union. And the thing that annoys me most about colonizers is that they don't want you in their territory, but they don't want you in your territory. So basically what they're trying to say is, Africans, please stay in Africa, okay? Do not even go to other countries where other black people live because we don't like when black people are getting along. And the absurdity of this.
Nigerians are buying Caribbean passports and they've just made it into the top 5. A new Henley and Partners report says Nigeria is now 5th in nationalities buying property in Caribbean countries for citizenship. That's after the US, Ukraine, China and Turkey. Islands like Antigua, St. Kitts and Dominica offer passports starting at around 200 grand, giving visa-free travel to about 150 countries. And it comes as Caribbean leaders are stepping up links with Africa. Here's St. Kitts and Nevis PM Dr. Terence Drew speaking at the Afri-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum in Grenada last week.
Imagine what all of us can do together.
Guys, look at this. The president of Ghana, John Mahama, he went on a 4-day historic trip to Jamaica. And during the trip, not only did he get along with the people there, but he tried to bridge the gap between Africans and people in the diaspora. Look.
Give me one roll. give me one roll. Give me one roll. Thank you. We have to sign the ganja agreement.
You can see that he had fun moments, and he also had moments of reflection as well. Here he was standing by the Marcus Garvey Monument, who was a very famous pioneer to Pan-Africanism. Keep in mind that this is a few days before Jamaica's Independence Day, so Mahama, he really knows what he is doing in this trip. He was also seen holding the Jamaica's Reparations Handbook as well. And then on his Facebook page, he posted, "Building bridges across the Atlantic. I am visiting Kingston to renew the strong historical, political, and cultural ties that connect Ghana and Jamaica." Personally, you can see firsthand from this trip that he believes in Pan-African unity, and I think that he is doing a great job trying to bridge the gap. But let me know what you guys think. Comment below.
We are Jamaicans. Welcome to episode 2 of relocating from Kenya in Africa to Jamaica. Before I take you through the immigration process of adjusting my status from a visitor, let me show you what I was up to immediately I got to Jamaica. Today we are going to explore the artwork in downtown Kingston, one of my favorite places here in Jamaica.
This one hits that one, then that one hits the next one.
First things first, withdrawing money. 1 USD is equivalent to about 157 Jamaican dollars.
Yeah.
It's at one loaf.
One loaf. One love, let's stand together and feel alright. Let's go.
Kenya has the best long distance runners, while Jamaica has the best sprinters. These are the legends. You can see Asafa Powell, Usain Bolt, Sherian, and so many more right here. I love how they honor their legends.
Push out the rain now,
Okay. This is water rafting, like it's showing different aspects of culture, the curio shop.
One of my favorite things about this artwork is that you can learn different aspects of Jamaican culture and lifestyle. But what is Jamaica without getting one of these? If you know, you know. I did a little shopping before going to the ocean front to just watch the planes land and enjoy the views.
Yeah, nice girl. Nice boyfriend.
These are the ocean views. Stay tuned for the next episode as I take you on my relocation journey from Kenya to Jamaica.
Greetings everyone and welcome back to the channel. Wait a minute, why are Africans suddenly looking towards Jamaica? Is Jamaica becoming more than just beaches, reggae, jerk chicken and Usain Bolt? And why are entrepreneurs from Africa thinking, you know what? Maybe Jamaica is where the next opportunity is. But hold on, before somebody packs their suitcase and say, Jamaica, here I come, there is a much bigger story happening here. The relationship between Africa and Jamaica is not new. In fact, it goes much deeper than business. Jamaica has a powerful connection to Africa because of its history, culture, and the millions of people across the Caribbean whose ancestors came from the Africa continent. So, when African leaders and entrepreneurs starting talking about stronger connection with Jamaica, the question becomes, are we watching the beginning of a new Africa-Caribbean partnership? And this is where things get interesting. So guys, I want you to watch this video until the end, then I'll come back with more comments.
I've been living in Jamaica for 4 years, and every single time I get the question why I moved here, it's never really a straightforward answer because it wasn't planned. I moved here when I was 22, and it was kind of like a spontaneous move, but it happened at the time where I realized I didn't envision fully adopting and living the American dream and following through with that dream in my adulthood. So one day I just simply decided to remove myself from that path and idea of living. Jamaica wasn't even my first choice. I thought I was going to move to Mali, which is where my father's from. I was pretty immersed in the culture, so it wouldn't have been a cultural shock for me. I got there and spent 3 months, and I realized it was too much of an adaptation that I would have to make in order to live there. The next move was Jamaica, but I got here and didn't know I was gonna stay. So I first got to Portland. I was living in Portland for 6 weeks, and then after I visited Kingston, and then me and my sister, this is me and my sister, by the way, that are doing this. It's not just me by myself. Me and my sister toured some apartments in Kingston, and then we got an apartment, and then we were there for 2 years. And looking back on it, I think it was the best decision I could have made for myself at that time because it was a shift I think every young adult should do if they have the opportunity to do it. Get out and go live somewhere that you never would have imagined living before, or put yourself in a place where you can be uncomfortable and you can grow. I encourage every young person to take that leap and just do something that you never envisioned doing for yourself, and just having that hope and faith that everything will work out, because it could change your life. You never know what could happen. You never know what opportunities could cross your lap. I was working remotely at the time along with my sister, so that's what made it a little bit easier for us to do that. And now it's been 4 years. I don't live in Kingston anymore, thank God, but I do live in Portland, where me and my sister have opened a guest house called River's End, and that's our new venture. I don't know how long I'm going to be living in Jamaica, but this is the place that I'm in right now for this season. And we need to be comfortable with not being so firm and strong on how our life pans out and what we plan for ourselves, because things do change. We should get a little bit detached to what we expect and what we plan and how everything works out, or how we want everything to work out in the way that we want it to work out, because most of the time it doesn't happen like that. And obviously I don't have everything planned out. Nobody does, or follow your heart, follow your intuition when it comes to pursuing the dream that you have for yourself or the passions that you have. Explore those fully. You're not always going to be able to experience them in a planned time. So sometimes it takes doing something a little bit sporadically or spontaneously in order to best experience that thing. Don't be scared. God got your back. The universe has your back, whoever you believe in. Take the leap of faith because it could change your life for the better. It could teach you some lessons. It could bring you across new relationships and new people, bring some new opportunities. Take the leap of faith and watch what is in store for you.
So I often get asked, how am I able to move back to Jamaica and live? Like as a young professional that has her own business, how have I managed to do it? How is it going? These are the three options that I could advise in terms of a way to move back to Jamaica and live. Either you have a remote job, or you get a good job at a good company out here that pays you well, or you have your own business. If there's any other that anyone else can recommend, please do drop them down below. But those are the three options I have. Now, when it comes to having your own business in Jamaica is like a blank canvas, guys. And everyone's just getting in their strokes at the moment. Like, it's literally a blank canvas, and it's beautiful because, like, when you see places that are much more developed, such as like, you know, the UK or America or Canada, whatever, like, these places started by not being where it is currently today. And that's how I look at Jamaica. As Jamaica is somewhere that is developing. Jamaica is somewhere that has a lot of opportunity and has a lot of inefficiencies and problems that need solving. So if you are someone that has a business idea, you know, you can do your research into Jamaica, see if that business idea can fit in here and provide a solution to something that is needed on the island. You know what I mean? Something that people will gravitate towards, something that people can, you know, put their money in, and you will have a certain kind of return. So that is my advice when it comes to business. I would also say that, if I be very honest, guys, like, when people also thought, like, I did my research, I spent time on the island, back and forth to the island, when people thought that I was just out here gallivanting or looking man or kind of whatever you want to say, which is, people do what they want to do, you know what I mean? But I'd be very honest, I was being very, very strategic about pretty much every single trip that I took to Jamaica. So, like, I would do things like, I would kill two birds with one stone. So I'm getting a holiday, but I'm also coming and I'm building my connections and I'm meeting people, and I'm going out by faith and coming across people that I'm supposed to be connected to that have really helped me and really poured into me over the years. So I was very intentional. When people thought I was gallivanting, I was like, yeah, I'm gallivanting, cool. Think whatever it is you want to think. I'm gallivanting. My gallivanting has paid off. And I say that humbly, and I give all the glory to God, because I also moved whenever God told me to move. I aligned myself with purpose. I surrendered what I thought was my own plan, when things were going to happen, how things were going to happen, all this kind of stuff. And I just surrendered my will to God's will, and I picked that up, and I've just taken this step and done that, and it has worked out for me. In fact, I'm actually getting paid more here than I did in the UK. I'm getting paid more here than I did in the UK, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm really happy. So honestly, like, for any young person, for any person at any age that is thinking, should I return back to Jamaica, I think consider those three things and align yourself with purpose. Like, what is that thing that you wake up every morning and feel a burning desire to do? If it is God's will, sorry, 1 second, Milton. If it is God's will for you to be here and for you to do something, that means your purpose and what it is that He's placed within you aligns with you being here. So I say tap into that, tap into what it is that God is trying to say to you, tap into where it is that God is trying to leave you, and especially at a specific time, because timing is everything. I got the word last year that I was going to move to Jamaica next year, and I didn't know when, and I thought I had to do so much different things in order to prepare for that, and everything shut down, and I had to surrender everything to God and just move when He told me to move and do what it is He told me to do. And that is what has opened and unlocked a lot of doors for me. So my advice to you is align yourself, be strategic, have a plan, because I still had a plan, and every time I came back I was very adamant that everything I set out to do is what I'm meant to do, and that was always my top priority. There were things that also required me to align myself correctly in the UK that would give me
that would allow me to have access and allow me to have certain opportunities out here when it came to me wanting to do certain things because I was obedient with what it is that God told me to do in the UK. So my encouragement to you is, as a young person, can you move to Jamaica and make it work? 150% you can. I have been here for about 2 months now. I've lived in Jamaica before, so I've learned what it's like not to have money, not to be strategic, not to kind of, you know, just be a certain person. Because also, guys, like, I do architecture design and I'm a woman that runs a business. I feel like anywhere in the world, when you're a woman or a young woman or whoever that runs a business, you have to be on job, because people are going to try and take advantage of you and think that, oh, because you're a woman, you're soft. No. That I've got things to do and I'm on job and I'm do you know what I mean? So you have to really be like a boss babe in this thing in order to survive in general, to be honest. So that is my encouragement to you guys. If anyone has any questions, anyone wants any advice, my DMs, my inbox stuff is open. I'm so happy to encourage anyone, to help anyone in whichever way that I can. So yeah, I wish you guys all the best. Reach out to me. I've just finished at the Diaspora conference and guys, it was absolutely incredible. Absolutely amazing. Building connections, all that kind of stuff, amazing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prime Minister. Thank you for your very comprehensive brief on the discussions we have had. I want to thank you for your kind invitation to visit Jamaica on this auspicious anniversary, and to thank you for the hospitality we have enjoyed since we arrived here. But also to thank you in advance for your acceptance of my invitation to visit Ghana on the occasion of our 70th independence anniversary next year. I want to thank you very much. I just add to what you said about the historic relations between us. With the advent of Pan-Africanism during the period of colonialism, several strong pro-African came together at the Pan-African Congress and held discussions, initial discussions that began the move towards the liberation from colonial domination. And among those strong Pan-Africanists of the time were Marcus Garvey, our own president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and several others. You have outlined the influence that Marcus Garvey had on President Kwame Nkrumah. It was very profound. And in many of President Nkrumah's writings, he acknowledges that several of the visions that he had in terms of Pan-Africanism and the liberation from colonial domination were inspired by Marcus Garvey. And it's obvious to tell from some of the programs he implemented when he became president, after Ghana became newly independent. A lot of the inspiration and the vision for the industries he set up, the economic programs he implemented were taken from the teachings of Marcus Garvey. And so no wonder we call Ghana the Black Star of Africa, which was a concept that Marcus Garvey promoted. No wonder we had the Black Star shipping line, which was a project that Marcus Garvey himself initiated, and several other of such programs. And so while they worked in solidarity in those days, including Prime Minister Michael Manley, in respect of the non-aligned movements, those leaders came together at the time of the Cold War, to work together to protect our countries from undue influence by the various ideological blocs. And in later years, the prophet Bob Marley came on the stream and influenced and inspired people of African descent. Indeed, his song on Zimbabwe's independence continues to be, very popular. Africans are liberating Zimbabwe, and it led not only to the liberation. After Zimbabwe, South Africa also joined and got independent. But even his lyrics about freeing ourselves from mental slavery and all that continue to inspire us, and I'm looking forward anxiously to visiting his museum later this afternoon. But if this solidarity was built on liberation, we have new opportunities for building that solidarity today. This time is not about liberation from colonial domination. This time it is economic emancipation of our people. And we have no option than to work together, bring our comparative advantages together to be able to create the prosperity that our people deserve. And that's why, Mr. Prime Minister, I'm very happy that you've outlined several of the things that we had the opportunity to discuss. And so, I mean, we discussed bringing Jamaican and Ghanaian business people together. I think that that is one sure way to begin cross-investments between our countries. There are many opportunities that exist here in Jamaica, and there are many opportunities that exist in Ghana. Both of us have the vision of creating our nations into hubs for our sub-region. And so hub to hub, we can cooperate both in investments and in terms of movement of people and services between Accra and Jamaica. And so that was a discussion we had. Today I'm meeting Jamaican business people when I visit the port. We have a working lunch, and so we'll have the opportunity to discuss some of the investments that are available in Ghana, which they can take advantage of, but gives them an opportunity to reach the rest of Africa because of the African Continental Free Trade Area. You are able to produce or manufacture in one country and export to the other 54 countries. That creates a market of 1.4 billion people with a GDP of almost $3 trillion. And so that opportunity is available. But vice versa, getting Ghanaian investors to look at the opportunities here in Jamaica, in real estate, in construction, and manufacturing, and several other of those areas. We have to activate the bilateral air services agreement between us. It's currently before our parliament, and we'll fast-track it so that it becomes operational, so that either national carriers between Jamaica and Ghana or third-party carriers can fly direct flights from Accra to Montego Bay. We also discussed, and importantly, Mr. Prime Minister mentioned that the Defense Cooperation Agreement, and that would allow us to have exchanges between our military. But more importantly, like Mr. Prime Minister said, it will allow us to respond to disaster in each other's country in a more timely manner. We're proud that our soldiers came and gave whatever little support they could. We received them back home with pride. They themselves were so at home that they were not in a hurry to come. And so they asked for 3 extensions, which were all granted. And I'm sure if Prime Minister had not begged them and said, look, they need you at home too, they would probably have sought permanent residence here. But we're proud to hear the work they were able to do. And we believe that in future we can respond like that to each other. It is not even the size of the troops that came. It is the symbolism and the solidarity between brother nations. And so we're proud that we were able to do that. We're also happy that we signed the agreement, and soon we'll have a number of Ghanaian health professionals coming to work in the Jamaican health system. But we've also talked about exchanges where we bring Jamaican health professionals to Ghana to train and come back home to support the health system. We're looking at exchange of teachers, physics and maths teachers, science teachers, and all that. So these are all areas that we can activate. I want to commend Jamaica for its resilience in terms of the recovery after Hurricane Melissa. Indeed, when I saw images of the damage that Melissa had done, I thought that the recovery would have been slow, but I mean, it's obvious that Jamaica has bounced back. And I want to commend Prime Minister and all Jamaicans for that. And indeed, in the briefing, I mean, the damage that was caused was about $12 billion. And it would take some years to claw back all that $12 billion. But the Jamaican people have shown the kind of resilience that they can bounce back from adversity, and I want to commend all of you. Mr. Prime Minister, I want to thank you also for the support that you have given us as leader, champion of the African Union on reparations, for the support that you have given us and for the work we all have done together, Ghana, CARICOM, and all persons from the African diaspora, in terms of moving that historic resolution on the floor of the General Assembly. I believe that was a great day. 123 nations supported us, and that has put a statement, starkly, that the transatlantic slave trade and the enslavement, chattel enslavement of Africans was a grievous crime against humanity. We held the Next Steps conference in Accra, and Foreign Minister Kamina was with us, Tourism Minister was with us, and several others were with us. And we had 3 agreements on the high-level panel, the experts panel, and the legal panel. And I believe that it ties into what Jamaica is trying to do with the petition to the Royal House of England. And I want to express Ghana's support for that petition. There are several roads leading to the same destination, and we believe that one of the roads Jamaica is taking is still leading to the same destination that we all want to get to. We must work to increase trade amongst ourselves, and we can only do that if we put in the logistical infrastructure between us. I spoke about the air services. That can be a beginning, but also looking at the fact that Jamaica is an important maritime hub, and Ghana is also an important maritime hub. We came with our CEO of the Ghana Maritime Authority, and he briefed Mr. Prime Minister on the efforts we are all making in order that we can traverse the Atlantic and make the Atlantic become a bridge rather than a barrier between us. And I do believe that with the work that we are all doing, we should soon have direct air services coming to the Caribbean from West Africa, and then also direct transshipment to move goods and services across our 2 regions. And so I want to say this state visit has been very productive and forward-looking, and we're concluding these engagements with a clear roadmap, with a strong political will and renewed momentum to further deepen Ghana-Jamaican relations. And so on behalf of the government and people of Ghana, I wish to extend our appreciation to the government and people of Jamaica for this invitation, and to extend our commendation and congratulations.
Hello guys, I hope you have just watched that full video. So guys, the former Ghanaian President John Mahama's engagement with Jamaica highlighted the importance of bringing Africa and the Caribbean closer together. Imagine that 2 regions separated by thousands of kilometers, but connected by history, culture, and ancestry. So somebody might ask, okay, that is beautiful, but where is the money? Well, that is exactly where the conversation gets serious. There are growing discussion about trade, investment, transportation, and making it easier for businesses in Africa and the Caribbean to work together. Imagine better maritime connection. Imagine more direct flights. Imagine an entrepreneur in Accra being able to reach Montego Bay more easily. Suddenly, Jamaica isn't just a vacation destination, it's a potential business destination. And then comes another fascinating part of the story. An creator who actually moved from Kenya to Jamaica. Now that is gets my attention, because it's one thing for politicians to stand on a stage and talk about Africa and the Caribbean coming together. It's another thing for an Africa entrepreneur to actually say, I'm going there, but why? Is Jamaica offering something that African entrepreneurs are looking for? Is it the culture, the business opportunities, the lifestyle, the connection to Africa heritage, or perhaps a combination of all of them? And here is the warning. Moving to another country isn't as as simple as booking a flight, carrying your suitcase, and saying, God will provide. No, 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 no. You need a plan. You need to understand the market. You need to understand the people. You need to understand the law. And most importantly, you need to know who you are going there in, why you are going there in the first place. Because as the Kenyan creators experience suggests purpose matters. Don't just move because somebody on the internet said Jamaica is where the money is. That is how you end up sitting in Jamaica looking at your bank account like, brother, where did everybody go? The smarter approach is strategic. Find a real opportunity, build relationship, understand the community, and don't arrive thinking you are going to change Jamaica overnight. Because Jamaica already has entrepreneur businesses and talented people of its own, the opportunity is in partnership, not competition. And perhaps that is the most exciting part of this entire story. For generations, the relationship between Africa and the Caribbean was largely discussed through the painful history of slavery and liberation. But could we now be entering another chapter? A chapter about investment, entrepreneurship, trade, and economic independence. Think about that. What if the descendants of Africans who were once possibly taken across the Atlantic arrow are now voluntarily crossing that same Atlantic, not in chain, but carrying businesses, ideas, investment, and opportunities? That is powerful transformation. From survival to investment, from separation to reconnection, from simply talking about African unity to actually building economic bridges. And Jamaica could become one of those bridges. But here is the big question. Is this really the beginning of an Africa-Caribbean economic movement, or is Jamaica simply becoming the latest destination attracting wealthy African entrepreneurs? Because if direct flights improve, trade barriers come down, investments increase, and more Africans begin exploring Jamaica, we could see something much bigger developing. And perhaps one day, instead of hearing, I'm going to Jamaica for vacation, we will hear, I'm going to Jamaica to build. Now, that will be a different kind of tourism. So, what do you think? If you are an African entrepreneur looking for a new market, would you consider Jamaica? Will you invest there? Will you move there? Or would you say beautiful beaches? Absolutely. Businesses? Let me think about that one. So either way, one thing is becoming clear. The conversation between Africa and the Jamaica is getting bigger. And this time, it's not just about history. It's about the future. So guys, this video shows us that many people love Jamaica, and they are really, really, really loving Jamaica from their bottom of their hearts. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please remember to subscribe, like, and also comment. Thank you.